way up her sleeve. But it might just be for me. We got a love that you can't believe. She turned and she said to me, you gotta love me for the long haul, or I don't want this love at all. Don't call me your baby doll unless you're in it for the long haul.
She's full of things that sure sound sweet. It's so easy, my heart skips a beat. I think he likes it, I'm a little cheeky. Sometimes I wish he'd just let me be.
Unless he's in it for the long haul. I mean winter, spring, summer, and fall. Not on a shelf up on his wall. I need his loving for the long haul. Well, some days her loving's free, but other days it don't come cheap. When she gets those icy feet, I look in her eyes and I repeat, gonna love you for the long haul, 'cause you're the only one I need at all. Gonna live at your beck and call. Gonna love you for the long haul.
Sometimes he sings off key. Nobody ever said it came easy. He doesn't have to get abandoned me if he'd only give me what I need.
I could love him for the long haul, drag him out to every dance hall. He doesn't have to write the songs at all. I just need him for the long haul. I think I'm moving on to her street, so every day she has to walk by me. I know it sounds a little bit crazy, but then maybe she will finally see that I'm in it for the long haul. Took my time and there's no need to stall. Get back to her if I have to crawl. Gonna love you for the long haul.
Gonna love you for the long
Gonna
haul.
love you for the long haul.
Gonna love you for the long haul.
Gonna love you
For the long haul.
Woo!
Oh
Woo!
my goodness, yeah.
Goatroper. Awesome.
Thank you, thank you.
Awesome,
Thanks.
awesome. You guys sound like you've been playing together for a long time, but I know this compilation is fairly new. Tell us about how you folks started playing together. When and
Well, we've been playing together for about a year.
About, yeah.
About, almost.
But the first time we played together, I was on the road. I used to live in New York, and I was on my way to Joshua Tree, and I stopped in Minneapolis, and we sat on Abby's porch, and we were singing all these country songs that we both knew, and like it was kind of like, we've known each other a long time. We met 15 years ago, but after going our separate ways and like making our own music for a while, it was kind of wild to reconnect and be like, oh, now we're making the same kind of music.
Mm-hmm.
Like now we're singing the same songs. And
Yeah, when Mike came through, he really wanted to play a show in Minneapolis, and I was like, well, it's a little too short notice to get a show, but we can do a backyard show. And so, yeah, we had a really good time doing a backyard show.
so good that I decided I had to move here.
I was gonna say that's
And then we
wow.
moved here.
I was
Wow.
going to say that porch probably had sparks flying
Totally.
all
Yeah,
over
yeah,
because
I
your
saw
voices
fireworks, yeah.
together, it's insane.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I was going to say your music, I envision people out on the dance floor. It's not mostly like headphones. It's like, let's get out
That's
and
what
get
we
on
want.
the dance floor. Yeah.
Yeah, we want people to be able to dance and have a good time.
I made a folk rock record, a solo record, and so that was a big thing for me, like to transition. And I kind of wanted to be in a rowdy bar band, you know, like I love folk music. That's kind of the world I come from, and it has my heart and stuff. But it's a whole different thing when you can get people moving, and like it's a different energy, you know.
Yeah.
And so I've been chasing that.
Well, yeah, and to bounce off that, I had to learn how to play honky-tonk piano. So I've been learning how to do that this last year to, you know, get people dancing and stuff. And so that's been a learning curve, but really cool and really fun. So.
Well, tell me the difference. I am not.
Well, I mainly grew up doing classical music. So, you know, reading and, you know, I've always written songs on the piano, but learning how to play in a specific style, it takes some study and some practice to kind of learn all those riffs and the scales you want to improvise in and stuff like that. So.
It's I mean, obviously the classical background helps considerably.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would be like learning a new language.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
Yeah, not reading any music. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's fantastic.
I was going to say maybe that's how you get the feel of bringing people out on the dance floor because you're feeling it more than reading it, maybe, in a
Yeah.
weird way.
I'd say it's a little bit more fun, loose, you know.
Yeah.
So
Cool. I was gonna say, you guys are pretty saturated too with some of your bandmates. After you guys had that explosion, you kind of rallied in quite a bit of local talent.
We have a great band, and so Taylor James Donsky plays bass guitar for us, and he's like a Twin Cities music head. I mean, he's everywhere all the time.
Yep.
And then Will Flynn plays drums for us, and he played in Abby's rock band back in the day.
yeah, back in the day, and I went to high school with him too. So known Will for a while. Yeah, he's great.
So yeah, it's a killer band. We're actually looking to add some people to it. We're looking to add some different instruments to the mix, but we'll keep that under wraps for
Do you need
now.
a
Are we gonna say
harmonica
now
player?
you're not?
Oh yeah.
And you also had Pleasure Horse or Tim
Yes.
record and play.
Yep, Tim recorded my solo EP, and he's a wizard at the country music. Not just country music, all music. You know, I brought him my songs, and he changed them into what they should sound like and be. It was an incredible experience. And now he's recording our full album for Goatroper.
Yeah, and with our album, the kind of music we're making is like so close to Tim's heart that we play him a song and it just feels like he's another collaborator. You know, sometimes you could hire a producer and they would say, oh sure, I know how to do this and we'll get it done. But with him it feels like, oh, the music means something to him and he knows just kind of like the vibe we're going for and he understands the language of like the honky-tonk world and stuff. So yeah, it's been super fun to make music with him. We were just at his show last night at 331.
That's great.
So we're still a little bleary.
They can go late. I was going to say, how is it, because you guys have both had your own bands and stuff, like working together, just because writing, or how do you go about that, or has it changed?
So we tend to write our own songs separately.
Okay.
And then bring them to the band. And but recently we've been collaborating a little bit more. With a new song, you know, I kind of sat down and wrote it out, like the main lyrics and idea, and then Mike came in and had a chorus for it. So we kind of collaborated a song that way. So that's really fun and nice to do.
And I'd say like all the stuff we like workshopped arrangements, like the stuff that's going to be on the record. It was like, oh yeah, this is how I would play this song. So how would the two of us play this song? And then how would the four of us play this song? You know, like that kind of collaboration, which isn't quite writing collaboration, but it makes a huge difference to like what the final song is, of course. And we kind of wrote to each other, like the songs kind of have a little back and forth. The two songs that we're going to hear later today are kind of like I heard Abby's tune, and so I kind of went with that idea and sat down with it and wrote my version of that song, kind of, you know. And so that's been very fun too.
Yeah, we have been doing a lot of back and forth
Bouncing
like that.
off each other.
Yeah.
I was going to say, even the song that you just played, it seems like there might be a little correlation through all the songs so far.
Oh yeah.
Yes, there is.
Okay.
There really is. Yeah, Mike had written a song for me when he was in New York. And then I had something to say about it, so then I wrote a song back and sent it to him, and then he wrote that duet.
Yeah.
So that is kind of like a...
And eventually we had an album of that
Yeah.
stuff.
That's impressive. I'm doing well if I can write a postcard or something.
I was going to say, it feels like old school of the letter writing back and forth.
It has a little bit of that, yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it has sort of like a vintage sound, but then a modern sassiness to it. Like, I feel like Nikki Lane or Tanya Tucker, just that like
thank you.
sassy. Yeah, that's
That's
what I
awesome.
heard. Yeah. Plus, I think she's here next week if you need to go.
Really?
Yep.
Ooh,
Yep.
Check that out. Yeah.
Tanya Tucker? No.
Yeah, with Bernie Carlisle.
Yes,
Just
yeah,
kidding.
yeah.
Are you this sassy on your normal every day, or
No.
does Mike back and forth maybe created.
I think we both have plenty of it, don't we?
I suppose sometimes I got a little sass, but I'm very Midwestern.
Yeah,
So.
I get it. I get
Yeah.
it.
Sass only when you really need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, with that song, I was feeling a lot of sass when I wrote it. I think that "You Don't Rub Me Right" was kind of in me for a long time. That was one of those songs that just kind of came out pretty quick, and that very very rarely happens for me. So
It had to be released, maybe.
mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, would you want to hear that quick, so we know what we're talking about?
Oh,
All right.
The sassiness of it. You don't rub me right.
You Don't Rub Me Right by Goatroper in studio. Oh.
I just met you, can't you see?
This one I have to look it up.
Your questions, they ain't pleasing me. Why do you gotta know all my insecurities? You just don't rub me right. I think you're trouble, and I think you know I'm right.
For real.
That's a good two-step.
You think I'm pretty, and that doesn't make me cold or close. You just don't rub me right. I think you're trouble, and I think you know I'm right. Now what's this? I see you scowling at me from the bar. Whatever you're daydreaming, I think you took it way too far. Why don't you trust me when I say you don't want to be cliche? You just don't
Yeah.
want to right. I think trouble, and I think you know I'm right. You just
So at the clown lounge, we always know when you're upstairs because I wear boots all the
Oh,
time.
yeah.
And they're like, oh, Anne's here. Dancing up on stage.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, I've become a cowboy boots person myself. And I got a nice warm liner for the winter time.
Nice.
Oh, I gotta get liners. That's a good idea.
Yes, all the difference.
It's only my second Minnesota winter. I'm still kind of learning the ropes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, coming from New York, it's not like you're coming from.
I know, but it's a lot different. you
It's.
know? And I grew up in South Dakota too, but it's that much colder up here. I guess. You know?
Yeah.
Like you can feel the difference. But it's also been a long time since I did a South Dakota winter, so I might regret saying that if I spent a whole winter there.
I think you're trouble, and I think you know that I
You Don't Rub Me Right by Goatroper, and we are excited to have Abby and Mike in the studio with us.
Excited to be.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I love that song.
I know. I have many visions of random strangers in my head after that song.
I wish I had visions of strangers.
This is why I think it came out fast.
You guys have been playing a lot, it seems like, or
We have,
How-
yeah.
Yes.
yeah. How much of the workshopping the music goes on stage, or do you modify after you play in front of people?
Well, I learn from my mistakes on stage.
Well, there
I
you go.
home and
There you go.
rework those. But I think we do most of our workshopping beforehand. Before we started playing gigs, we probably spent 4 months, like, playing together a lot, figuring out the songs, getting a set together.
Figuring each other out.
Yeah, that
way,
too,
yeah.
like learning how to write with each other.
But I think like the sound and the vibe is like always developing show by show because there's a part of it, right? Like I was saying, like for me, this project is about like the people moving and dancing and like being in a crowded bar and stuff. And so that half of it you can't do without the audience. So you can work on the song until it's perfect, but you learn a whole new thing about it every time you play it for a room full of people that are, you know, really having a good
So
time.
what I'm hearing is we're part of your band then.
Yeah. Sure, absolutely, yeah.
I do love the fact that you guys get to feed off the interaction of the people, and that brings something for you guys too, rather than just playing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, and because your first album is coming out in the future, fun for people to see brand new music.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, repeat customers have heard it before, but that's got to be exciting and
It's
a little
very fun
nervous-y.
to be the new band in town. That is a fun thing, because every time we play, there's people who've never heard it before,
Yeah.
and so that's a great position to be in, you know. And it can't last forever, but it's a good time while it's happening.
Yeah.
Well, what's nice is that, as Heather was saying earlier, there's a familiarity to the sound. I mean, that honky tonk is a familiar sound, but then the modern twist. So
Yeah,
it's just easier to listen to music that sounds like something you know, that has that familiarity. But then when you can deviate on it, that what kind of gets the longevity.
totally. That's
Yeah.
that's the goal. So
That is
that's
the
cool
goal.
that y'all picked up on that. That's what we're up to.
I was gonna say, I was gonna say your road trips with your dad in the truck with this brought that vision to me, but I'm wondering what you heard from your other fans, from your other groups. Are they like, wait, we're doing this, now this, or they're like, great, we get to add another genre to what you come listen to, I guess, every night.
Have you heard from any Julie Fur fans about the new single?
No.
You're incognito there?
Yeah. But it is really fun getting to play with all these other country bands in Minneapolis. We've been talking a lot about how it really feels like there is a resurgence of country music in Minneapolis happening right now, and it's very exciting.
Yeah, and it's a really great community of people, and lots of talent and lots of warmth, and it's a great community to be a part of.
It is. It's one of the things that I like a lot about Minneapolis, and I think especially with the country and kind of folk and the bluegrass, and there's some strong. I mean, I think of like the Cactus Blossoms, and they're much more Everly Brothers, but they have a huge following. But that's nice because that's nationally, that kind of gets you a toe into different places, and there just seems to feel like it's a great community, like very supportive. You see people at other people's shows, and I don't think that's always the case.
Yeah,
Totally.
I think that's a big thing in the country music scene in Minneapolis. We all go to each other's shows. It's very important to really support each other. So
it's easy when you like the music.
Yeah.
Sometimes
that makes it easy
in
too.
my life I have found myself going to a friend's show, and it was purely a exercise in friendship. And it's just like, I have to go, like I really like this person, I wish them well, but this music's not really my thing. But there's a lot of good music to see in Minneapolis, it's easy to get out for.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I know young people just starting off in the music, and going off what you said is you feel obligated. I'm like, take notes. Notice things for yourself on stage or off, whatever. So it's always homework, right?
Absolutely.
I remember going to a show, and it was more of a hip hop show, and I was with somebody who plays much more folksy music, but see him taking notes the whole time. And he's like, "How many people do they have on Instagram? I'm going to see how they do this." It was so. I mean, the band was great. I had to write a review, so I'm there to write the review, but it's not our first genre.
Yeah.
But the things you can learn, it's kind of amazing.
Totally. And I'm a music lover of all sorts too. It's country music is always just sort of country folk. It's always just sort of what's come out of me when I write. But as a listener, I'm pretty eclectic, and I know that you are too. You listen to all sorts of stuff.
Oh yeah, I feel like I used to listen to a lot more rock, and I think since starting playing country music, I've been trying to really dive into the deep country music. to kind of study it, get to know it a little bit better.
Do you have some folks you listen to in particular? Or you're listening to right now in particular?
Right now, I'm listening to a lot of Emmylou. My CD player broke in my van, and it started working again.
Oh!
So I've been getting to really dive into
Miracle of
musicians.
Emmylou right there.
And Randy Newman, I like his piano playing style. So I've been listening to him, too. I'm trying to kind of... Recently wrote a song a little bit in his style. So I'm
nice.
trying to listen to him play so I can, like, learn his riffs and stuff. So...
That's a good way to do it.
Yeah. Learn from the best.
Well, that's it. That's it. Well, because you kind of get back to the language. You repeat the words, and then you can use them as your own.
Yes.
Yeah, Randy Newman. I'm gonna have to listen to. I haven't listened to that in a long time.
Yeah.
That's very.
I was gonna say, I lost it. Or if you were recording some in Pleasure Horse's living room, I'm wondering if that seeped in at all. If you're looking around, green carpet, blah blah, you know what I mean? Just absorbed in some of your music making there.
Well, it was really fun recording with Tim because I got to, he just mic'd a real piano. And so it kind of has that, you can tell when you're listening to the recordings, it has that upright, like, real piano sound. So that was pretty fun, getting to do that. Not on a keyboard,
Yeah. And the living room vibe is really cool because it's, we're working and we're being serious about this, but we're also having a hang, like in between takes and things. You're just in someone's living room and it's kind of, it's chill vibes and doesn't feel like, sometimes in a studio space, right, you can sort of feel like, oh, this is real serious. And
Yeah.
you have to be real serious about it.
Well, and this music is more comfort music.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It's homey. It's
Yeah.
You should be listening to it in a bar or a living room or someplace where you don't have to wear your shoes.
Right.
Some music you have to wear your shoes, and some you don't have to wear your shoes.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, if you have your shoes on though, you can hear the dance steps better though.
That's true.
Yeah, but we kept doing that actually. We kept stomping during the takes, and then we'd say, "Oh, we can't use this one because Mike, I can hear your boots stomping." Okay, I'll try not to stomp, and and then you take that take, and you feel like, "Oh well, it's missing something. What's it missing? Well, it's missing the part of me that was stomping."
It's missing my vibe.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That is very funny.
I know. I love when we played the first song, how you guys are kind of bebopping around.
Oh, sure, yeah.
That you love it as much as we do. Oh, thanks. I was going to say, should we listen to the next one here?
Yeah, well, I did just want to say that the first one, Abby's tune, Rub Me Right, is out right now everywhere. You can find it on Spotify and iTunes and Apple Music, whatever you listen to. You can buy it on Bandcamp for money if you want to.
Nice.
Like that.
Actual dollar.
Yeah, this song's not out yet. It's going to come out on the 5th of January, on the 12th day of Christmas. And, the Anglican 12th day of Christmas. Taylor Donsky and me were talking about the release date, and he said, you can't put it out on January 6th, right? And I said, wait, why? He said, it's been a year since last January 6th. And I said, okay. We'll do the other 12th night. So this will be out in just a little less than a month. Yeah, at the end of the Christmas season, we'll hit the ground running. After that, we have shows coming up in February, March, April, and we're kind of booking up the spring really fast, which is great. So we're taking January off though to maybe write some new songs and work on some new material and put the last couple nails in the album that we're working on.
Do you have any ETA for the album?
Yeah, we're saying late April or early May, and we're probably not going to be too upset with ourselves if it's a little later than that. But that's when you should look out for it. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, let's hear the song. I haven't had a chance to listen to this one yet, so good.
How funny. This is one I think would be so if you listen closely.
the harmonica on this.
The harmonica sounds great.
Yeah.
And like when he sent it back to us, I don't think he told us he put
No, he never does.
And
you
so
know?
so like we had it on our headphones, all of a sudden like this huge harmonica thing, and we were like,
Yeah.
I love it. That's fun. That is The Kind of Woman You Can Hold by Goatroper. They are here in the studio. We've got Abby and Mike.
hello.
Hello. Yeah, that's a great line. I'll be in church on Sunday morning. They'll smell like Saturday night.
Yeah, that was sort of the line that I wrote the whole thing around. When I came up with that, I was
It's totally
like,
worth it.
oh, that needs to be in a song.
I love
Yeah.
the next one. And when that wafer comes round, Dad, if I can keep it down, do you think that the big guy could spare me a life? So good.
It's really good. I shouldn't say this, but it reminds me of high school, which is probably the last time I was required to go to Mass.
Right.
And I went to Catholic schools.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd look around the church and see, oh, they look worse than I feel.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He was tapping the keg last night. I mean, it's just the best and the worst.
What was really fun for me was when I got a little older and I would go home for Christmas or something, so I'd find myself in church, and you'd look and you'd see the older people who I just saw, like last saw them at 2:15 this morning, you know, like, I know how they're feeling, but they're putting on a pretty good face over there. So.
But there's just a certain kind of people who do it, certain kind of woman who does it, and you know, and if you do, you do. You're like, all right, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, so it started as like kind of with the humor in mind, but as I finished it, and especially like as I heard that Abby's track, I wanted to write it kind of as an homage to that type of woman too, you know, like.
Nice. It may or may not have been out until 1 or 2 last night.
If you heard me, I said this is Anne's song.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we didn't run into you.
I know.
I was at the Lemonhead, so it
Oh yeah, I
Mike
wanted
was
to see
saying he
this.
wanted to go to that.
How was it?
was good. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. Yeah. Julian Hatfield, and yeah, it was
Cool.
good. It was good. But it's fun to see local. What's funny is because obviously I see a ton of local music. To be fair, I probably see music 6 nights a week.
Wow.
Okay.
So for me to see something not local is I'm like, this is so weird. I don't know anyone on stage. I don't, you know, but to go to the 331 that's a great place to see music.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah.
And it's fun to see Minnesota music, and normally that is what I like to support.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
I was gonna say the harmonica part that you said they offered, it has that Minnesota feel too. Like I hear, since I'm a big fan, like the Jayhawks, you get that.
Oh, cool, yeah.
Yeah, so I love that you let it stay in the song, and it just it brings, like you said, a louder vibe to.
Yeah, I get kind of like a Neil Young vibe from that
Ooh.
harmonica thing. But
That's good.
I definitely hear what you're saying, and that's really important, right? If you're working with any collaborator, to have that ability to go like, well, that's not what I was hearing, but say we go with it and like see where it leads us. You know, like that's like the benefit of working with other people. Otherwise, I could just write my songs and record them in my room and then have them just the way that I meant them to be. But it's great when they can grow, you know, and that you can hand them off to someone else and say, like, what happens when you do something with this song? I love that.
The harmonica was a great surprise.
Mm.
We didn't know it was going to be on there. Then Tim sent it over, and we were like, "Oh my goodness!" It really made the song pop. So,
Do you ever get surprises that aren't so good? You're like, oh, no cowbell, you know?
honestly, not too much.
No,
not
I don't
really.
think
No.
we've cut anything he's done yet. I was just trying to think of that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes he'll send us something like, "Oh, I did this," and he's not sure he's feeling it, and so that's a different conversation. But like I was saying before, the sensibility that he has, like he really gets this type of music that we're making, and so that's just been really seamless for us to just be like, you kind of know what this song's feel is like, and he always does. So far, no. I don't think he's really sent me anything that I've been like, oh, that's not really where we were going with this thing. He really gets what we're up to, which is very cool.
It's good. Well, it sounds great. It sounds great.
Thank you.
So you got the single coming out on
The
the
5th
5th.
of January, yeah. And then the album, look for the album in early spring, around, the end of April, Easter time, I guess.
We'll say when the snow's done melting.
Yeah, that's right.
That'll give you some room.
That'll be a good deadline, so we could maybe do June 1st if we really have to. Right?
Well, absolutely, you could. Yes. That's good. You're taking January off, but then you got a bunch of shows coming up after that.
Yeah, we're playing February 14th, Valentine's Day.
Ooh.
Good thing we're sweethearts, huh? And we're playing at the 331 Club with Taylor James Donsky's with his band. So
nice.
We're gonna play together. He's also gonna play in our band that night. But he's doing a release. He's releasing his own record.
Okay.
And I think that's the official release show. He's got a release show on the 29th of this month for his next single. And then on the 14th, he's going to release the whole shebang.
Yeah. And then we hopefully have a show coming up in March. And then April 30th at the White Squirrel.
April 30th at the White Squirrel with my
Yeah.
friend Delaney Hafner from Long Island. She plays with a band called the Bell Curves. That's her band. She's not going to travel with her band. She's just going to do a solo thing. But I'm very excited for her to be here. Her dad, Bill, is her lead guitar player, and he mastered the tracks, and he's going to master our whole record for us. I've worked with him in the past, and
Nice.
kind of the same feel I have about Tim, where it's just like, we get each other here. So I can just send this to you and not worry about, directing you or micromanaging you or something like that.
That is nice, because I got to say, when you micromanage, that does make you love an album more.
Right, it totally.
When you get to that point of, so better to be able to stand back and
Yeah.
see the daisies from across the room than to see the pen strokes up close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm taking January off. I just realized this. You're not exactly taking January off anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna start singing backup and harmonies for Molly Brandt,
Oh, nice.
another great country gal in the city. So
What's that Turf Club show?
There's
January?
one coming up, isn't there?
yeah, she's opening for the Cactus Blossoms.
Okay.
So I'm very excited about that.
Yes. Well, that's great because it must be one of their residency shows.
Yep.
And did she just play with Turn, or is she going to soon?
It was the Ice House. I
Ice
think.
House. Okay.
No, we were with them at the Ice House. Goatroper.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, we were with them so we did
And Claire Doyle.
yeah, she put together
Oh,
like a
okay.
female country singers like a lineup.
Nice.
And so all three of us gals got up there and sang some 3-part harmonies. And
Oh, lovely.
it was a very special, really fun night.
That's good.
But you're playing that Turn show at the Turf Club on New Year's Eve, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's
That's what I'm thinking.
That's what
Okay.
it is. That's what it
I was
is.
like,
Yeah.
I know that I've seen it recently, so good.
Mhm.
Well, good. So we have an opportunity to see you New Year's Eve at the Turf Club, so that'll be fun. So.
Yeah. Oh, and we're doing Taylor's songwriter rounds on the 22nd of December.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, there's lots of dates to keep in touch. So that won't be a Goatroper show necessarily, but the two of us, RJ Vocal's going to be there that night, and I can't remember the fourth person who's going to be up, but Taylor does like 4 times a month. He does a songwriter round, So we're doing that on the 22nd, and that'll be my 331.
At the 331. Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if it's the Astor 331. So
He used to do it at the Astor. Now he does it at the 331, and he also does it at the White Squirrel
White
on
Squirrel.
Sunday
Yeah.
nights.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, can people find all of this too on your socials too?
Yes.
You'll-
So yeah, you can follow us at Goatroper Music on Instagram. That's the best way to keep up with like what we have coming up. We'll keep you updated. You can follow Molly Brandt for those shows, and for the songwriter rounds, you can follow Taylor at Twin City Songwriter Rounds on Instagram. So that's a lot of things for people to take and pull over to the side of the road.
Right. Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
you know,
The
Yeah.
main
Yeah.
one though is Goatroper Music.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Over music, and there you can get all
I
the
like
information.
that one. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you both so much
Thank
for
you
coming
for
on. It's
having
been
us,
a
yeah.
joy, and we'll look forward to some of those shows. White Squirrel is in my zip code, so
Oh, cool.
if I
Yeah.
don't see you before, then we'll see you then.
Sounds great.
All right, thanks. Now
Thank
we're back to holiday music. What are we going to listen to, Heather?
You have Andara with Mother Christmas.
That's the one.